doesn't mean God caused the kid to drown.
I never said he caused it. I'm saying he didn't do anything to save the child.
Yeah, so what? What is your argument?
Then how are morals objective if you don't apply them to God?
Moral obligations are for you, for humans.
Then it's not objective if it only applies to some. Dude, the word objective means it applies to everybody. That's what the word objective means.
But again, it applies to you you're under the objection because God wills it for you to do.
Does 2 plus 2 equal 4 for God?
What? This is irrelevant. So red herring.
This is about objectivity. No, this is about objectivity. Math is objective.
What?
Do you agree math is objective?
We're talking about mathematical axioms. This is nothing.
No, we're talking about objectivity.
Yeah, no, we're talking about objective morality. That's what the topic.
Answer that question. Which 2 plus 2 equals 4 to God?
What was your question again?
Does 2 plus 2 equal 4 for God?
Yes.
Okay. See how that's objective and it applies to God as well?
Yes. Obligation is the word I use specifically in my opening statement. So when I mention obligation, I'm talking about humans are under the obligation because if God sets the standard, then you humans are obliged to do the standard.
But now you're saying, but this objective thing only applies to humans. Can you see how that doesn't make sense?
I said that in my opening statement. That God wills good and that humans are obligated to do the action that God wills under their hearts because God has made it known on their hearts.
Divine command theory and objective morality are different things.
I didn't say this was divine command theory.
I know, you're saying it's objective morality, but then you also say, but it doesn't apply to God, which to me doesn't sound objective.
Yeah, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. And this isn't even divine command theory.
Would it be objectively immoral to punish people for crimes they did not commit?
What? Yes, it would be. It would immoral. You said objectively immoral or moral?
Immoral.
Yes.
Does God punish people for crimes they did not commit?
No.
I think the answer is yes. There's the original sin where he punished humanity for the crimes of Adam and Eve. There's the firstborn children in Egypt punished for the crimes of
I can already answer that question. You're straw manning the Christian belief. Again, we believe that the nature changed and that humans became they became inclined after they ate of the fruit of the tree. So that already debunks the argument.
What was the punishment for Adam and Eve?
Their nature changed, therefore that humans inherited that. We believe that humans, if any other human who was put in that position, would do the same thing. Therefore, they get the consequences of Adam and Eve because they were our spiritual mother and father. So we would do the same.
So they're being punished for crime they did not commit. Did they eat the fruit?
Because in that scenario, they would have eaten the fruit. Adam and Eve were the most perfect of the humans.
But they didn't eat the fruit, though, did they?
What? Adam and Eve literally did eat.
No. All the rest of humanity. Did you eat the fruit?
Well, I'm less than Adam and Eve. I would have eaten from the fruit.
Did you eat the fruit?
No, I didn't eat of the fruit. What's your point here?
You're being punished like you did.
No, I inherit a sinful nature because Adam and Eve ate of the fruit. Therefore, I receive the punishment when Adam and Eve ate of the fruit.
So you're being punished for what they did.
No, I'm not being punished because you know why? I have an advocate to stop me, or I have someone who forgives the sins. So I'm not being punished unless I make a choice to not ask for forgiveness for my sin. So again, you're clearly not understanding the Christian position.
No, I don't think you're understanding
mine. You're saying that you inherit punishment.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I didn't say you inherited punishment. I said you inherited sinful nature.
What was the punishment?
You have the choice to get punishment because God is asking people to come towards Him. So you have a choice. It's not like God is making you go to sin. In fact, He didn't even kill Adam and Eve when they ate of the fruit. He gave them an opportunity.
Right, which is kind of funny because he said they would die the day they
said he would die, but his talking about the same day. Prove to me he was talking about the same day. That's literally
say that.
in text. He wasn't saying they were gonna die. Like he told the thief on the cross.
The Bible verse says he will die the day you will die the day you ate it.
He did not say today. He did not lie to them.
Okay, did they die on the day they ate it?
They died a spiritual death.
You don't understand.
Yes, they died a spiritual death. So, really, does anybody die?
What? What is your question?
I mean, if we're just talking spiritual death.
No, you're false equivocating these two things. Adam and Eve died a spiritual death. They didn't die a physical one. So now you're making something up to say that.
What exactly? Spiritual death punishment too?
It can be, yeah.
And it's a punishment that you inherit as well.
Nope. I inherit a nature, but I don't inherit a spiritual death because I have Jesus Christ, who I mentioned in my statement was the perfect example of the objective moral good.
But if you hadn't, you would still be punished. Like I haven't accepted it.
It would and should, all these other things, but the point is that I have, so I don't. I have, so I don't. I don't have that anymore. I'm not punished anymore because I have Jesus Christ.
So essentially, God punishes you if you don't accept it.
Yes, you're punished if you don't accept the one who took all of punishment itself, so you could be forgiven.
Yeah, but it was like a sacrifice.
Okay.
You don't actually have to do anything. I mean, like.
No, yes, you do. Yes, you do. You have to keep the commandments. In Matthew 7:21, you have to keep. If you love Him, you'll keep the commandments.
Which are?
What?
The 10 Commandments.
That's not what Jesus said. He said to obey the two greatest commandments. And
he didn't do away with the other commandments. You're pivoting away, but if you want to talk about the Bible and itself, then we can go there. But the argument was about, or the resolution was about objective morality.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about these things in the Bible, then we can do another debate on that.
Well, I was just trying to get to the point of, is it objectively immoral not to do, or to punish people for crimes they do not commit? That's how we got to this. Which, like, God, I think, did punish people for crimes they did not commit. Not only the original sin, but you have the firstborn children in Egypt being punished for were the firstborn children in Egypt punished because of the Pharaoh?
Yeah, not God. Not God.
God punished them.
All the firstborns?
God killed all the firstborn children because the Pharaoh didn't let the Israelites go.
Yeah, what's your point?
Do you agree that it's objectively immoral to punish people for crimes they did not commit? Is God immoral?
Okay. I mean, do you know what happened to them? Do you know what happened to them? Are they in heaven or are you think they're in hell? Yep, they're in hell.
You have to know every detail to stay down. You have to know every detail exactly to know. Like if you want to be empathetic about right and wrong, but really, like enslaving people, like God's not wrong in that. Like anything He does to get them out of slavery is not a morally wrong thing to do.
He killed the firstborn children. He killed them because the Pharaoh didn't let them go.
Yeah, but every single one of the firstborn children of the Jews were born into bondage. Like you can break it down mathematically. Like if you really want to talk about like the suffering of the glory of it, I don't know. But I mean, you can say that about anything. Rebellion or
why not? I don't know. Kill the Pharaoh.
What?
Why?
Because
instead of killing the Pharaoh, did he just kill the firstborn of all these people?
It's probably because the Pharaoh is divine. I mean, if you're like taking it their logic, at that time, yeah, they probably was literally not allowed to. They would like call it democracy.
So much for all powerful.
What? Okay, now you're pivoting away from
it's
the
like an underworld.
The children did not go to hell. They received heaven because they were innocently punished. So they received heaven. So God brought about a greater good.
It's kind of scary.
God bring upon a greater good. So that's what we are.
If I kill a Christian who's guaranteed to go to heaven, did I bring about the greater good?
this is a false analogy. You're not God, so this isn't about you.
No. The point was you say they go to heaven, therefore it's a greater good.
You don't. No. To die is to gain. Is what Christians believe.
About like power and like respect and stuff, and like I don't know, like knowledge and stuff, and like people who are doing dirty tricks and playing games. You should tell them what was going on. Like when they crucified Jesus, like that was probably the craziest thing that happened there in a long time. People had like such a reaction because like you would probably like realistically he was probably like somebody who was like very controversial and like everybody was divided on him and they finally killed him. That's why they call him like the sacrifice, like the Lamb of God. But like through the religious lens, like if you understand the way the religion works and stuff, it's like you're making like a sacrifice. It literally like takes all the stress off of society and it like transforms society. Like I don't know, it's kind of weird. People don't do that usually, really. Like I don't know what takes them on this.
Well, Robert Cheese, I would like to ask you: do you have any evidence to suggest that secular societies produce better outcomes than Christian societies?
How about all the secular nations that are doing better?
Other than quality of life, or what? What secular nations are doing better than predominantly Christian society?
Switzerland.
What is a predominant Christian society?
Or a country that is comprised of majority Christians.
Well, most of these majority Christian countries are secular.
What?
Well, most of these Christian societies are actually secular.
No, they're not. Wait,
all
Christian societies are like secular.
There is no Christian society that is.
Wait, so where do they get? Okay, that's good. So where do they get their ethics from? Cultural Christians get their ethics from Christianity, correct?
They don't get it just from Christianity. They get some of it from Christianity, and they get some of it from.
Where else do they get it from? Where else do they get it from?
Like some.
So wait, so you're saying it's a preference now. So that kind of debunks humanism.
It is a preference. It affects us.
It's a preference. So what if someone has a preference to do evil?
Are you saying that there's a society out there that is governed by the Bible? Like there's a country out there that's governed by the Bible?
The Vatican is pretty safe there. The Vatican's pretty safe.
Yeah, the Vatican is like a country with like 50 people, and it's only the Pope and like the bishops. Like it's not.
Yeah, it's a peaceful country.
Oh yeah, be careful. There's a rapist in the Vatican. Oh my God, how are they?
What are you talking about?
You can't really use the Vatican as.
What? Why not? Why can't I use that?
Because the Vatican is a country with that is only predominantly composed of people who work for the church.
Okay, you're proving my point.
Clergy. Yeah,
but it's peaceful society there. It's peaceful.
Okay, fine. Okay, then you know what else is a peaceful society? Medina and Mecca, dude. Like everyone there is
what?
and they don't.
Mecca is your example of a peaceful society.
Yeah.
You know, the Muslims took over Mecca from someone who had it before. Literally, Muhammad.
They were just unpeaceful people. Islam had to fix it
against Mecca. Muhammad lost the caliphate against Mecca.
Okay, well, I'm just giving you an example right now. Like the crime rate in Mecca is like one of the lowest in the world. Like it's just probably as low as the Vatican, and they have more people.
Can you tell me the crime rate for Mecca and the crime rate for the Vatican so we can do a comparative analysis?
Dude, you can't use the Vatican as a.
Why not? You use the Mecca.
Yeah,
because you brought it up.
I'm using Mecca as an example to show you how preposterous it is.
Societies that are based on the Bible. That's a perfect example for a Christian society that is peaceful, that is based on the Bible. And
you know that America was not based on divine right and stuff like that. It was actually a much more successful society.
All of the 12 of the state
like divine right and like
all of the state constitutions had a profession of faith. All of the 12 of the state constitution had a profession of faith in Jesus Christ.
Except faith. Like the American Constitution specifically says any religion, you can do any religion is your own personal thing, right? Like get better because like the Puritan Tudor thing, it worked
Okay,
really
do you
well. And with
disagree?
the Roman Tudor thing,
What Christian ethics do you disagree with?
the Jews only worship um well, like if God is undefinable, I can be a monotheist. But if God's not undefinable, I cannot be a monotheist because it's just evil.
What? So
Yeah.
you don't believe? Wait. So what's your like religious?
Like if you believe in God, that I have no problem with that. Like I believe in God too. Like I pray to God, right? And I try to live a moral life. But like if you try to define God to me in any kind of way, like I
Why
don't like
not?
that. I don't like using religion
Because
as a way to
we as
engineer
humans have
society.
sorry, we as humans have limitations in our speech and our words to define what God is, but that doesn't mean that we can't have some knowledge of what God is, even though He transcends all of our
I mean, look,
lexical categories and our logical categories.
somebody's doing something that's wrong, and like you know it's wrong. I mean that's different. I mean you have to handle. Everybody has to handle their business and everything. That's one thing. But like religion to me should be about self improvement, like empowering, like
It is,
creativity and like individuality and like
but
love and
religion
compassion.
allows for
And
that
like
like for example a secular thing like
and like
communism or socialism fills the void which would cause which we have seen violence or we've seen negative outcomes for when religion isn't in a society when we have a society that is based on like political ideologies other than
Well,
religion.
ISIS in Afghanistan don't seem to have
Well,
a
yeah,
problem with
that's
being
it.
religious.
I'm defending the Christian religion, not the Islamic religion.
What about the Crusades?
What about them? Oh, I love this topic. Okay, the Muslims were encroaching on Christian land for 500 years. They were raping German women on pilgrimages and all sorts of things.
German women. Germany wasn't
They
even a
took over
nation during the
Iberia,
Crusades.
Anatolia, and the Seljuk Turks were doing all sorts of things to the Byzantine.
yeah, they were
Yeah, and
they were
what
all
were the
over each other
Crusaders
back then.
doing? Have you heard of the siege of
They were all over
Morat?
each other.
Have you heard of the siege of Morat, where the Crusaders resorted to cannibalizing their victims? That
What are
doesn't
you
seem very
arguing?
Christian. Well, you
Okay, yes,
using this
cannibalism isn't
argument.
Christian. But yes,
Well,
again,
yeah, but
the Crusades were definitely. I hold to the position that they were definitely just a just
what I'm
response to Muslim incursions on Christian lands. Like
what
there's
I'm
no
trying to
way
tell
getting
you.
around that historical fact that Muslims were encouraging on Christian land for 500 years before they
What I'm
even
trying to
did
tell you
anything.
is that the Christians or the Christian Crusaders weren't exactly following the Christian morals when they were committing the Crusades, right? So, like, to say that
Holy,
because you're
were they? It still doesn't matter. It was a just war. It was a just war to defend against their own to
yeah,
defend
but
their
not like
country.
killing civilians and resorting to cannibalism, right?
Civilians in this war, like I'm confused on what you're arguing for. I guess.
I'm arguing for by telling you that although they were Christian and though they were like following the word of God, they weren't exactly moral, you know,
By whose standard?
by the Christian standard, by their own standards.
Where do they violate the Christian standard? Like, I mean, individuals can violate
Do
it,
you
but
think
the
do you think
Crusaders as a
Jesus
whole.
do you think Jesus would have condoned the Crusades?
Yeah, I don't. Do I think Jesus would have condoned the Crusades? It's an
Yeah.
interesting question. But if they were, Jesus supported private property, so like he said to render to
Do you
Caesar
think
what is Caesar's. Like he did not fully support breaking laws or nations losing their sovereignty.
what do you what do you what do you where did you get the idea that Jesus supported private property?
Render to Caesar's what is Caesar's.
I mean, where does it say that?
Render to Caesar's what is Caesar's.
Render to Caesar's what is Caesar's? Is that
Those were
what?
Jesus' words. Yes.
Render to Caesar's what is Caesar's. Didn't he also say go sell what you have? Like telling
Yes.
all the rich like to share their property with the poor and
No,
like to feed
no.
the
No,
poor.
he
Those
said
are
if
two
you want to
different
be perfect,
concepts.
he
It's
said if
in
you
Yeah,
want to be
Mark
perfect,
and
that's
Matthew.
if you're
don't
following him.
yeah,
He said that's only if you're
don't do
following
good.
him.
Okay.
No, that's what he said. I think I said it Bible. I'm not sure. It said like
Mark 12:17. Then Jesus told them, "Give to Caesar's what is Caesar's."
and give to God what's God's.
in society is Christians donate the most in a civil society.
So Christianity is sort of like socialism?
No, we respect private property, but we are more altruistic than any other organization, or like the Catholic Church, for an example. We build hospitals, schools. We increase education worldwide, and Christian missionaries have been shown to increase literacy.
And they don't pay taxes.
What?
And they don't pay taxes.
What are you talking about? You don't believe?
Don't pay taxes.
Okay. What's your point?
The reason that they don't have to pay taxes is because of the charity work.
That's good. That's a good thing. They to donate more to charity. You're seriously going to make the argument that without
depends on the charity, I would say.
Without Christian charity, how much charity would you even have?
Don't you think that governmental programs that we could finance with taxes are better than charitable ones?
No, because they're government related. Like I wouldn't just say when the government gets to involved in stuff like that, or gets to tell where all
that's what they have in secular. That's what they have in secular countries like Denmark and Sweden, and it works very. Just saying.
If they don't like make racial fucking issues, you can actually do that, like have charity and stuff.
No, like there's no argument.
Yeah, but they get to like choose where the money goes.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
I don't know.
I just want to get one final question here. Can you name me something else that's objective that also just doesn't apply to everybody?
What? It's not the resolution. It's not topical. I reject the question because it's not topical. It violates topicality. In this debate we're having, you're violating topicality because you don't meet the resolution, or you don't negate the resolution.
The discussion is about are morals objective. I think something being objective is very a part of this topic.
What does it say is what objective? Morals?
I mean, you got to explain why it's objective. You need to explain why it's objective.
Well, I'm asking because he says morals are objective, but then he also says that certain things they don't apply to God.
No, I said obligation doesn't apply to God because God sets the standard, and He asks other people to act on the obligation that He said. He wills it.
How about we make an experiment? Let's say that like someone is like a fucking Satanist. What do you do with a Satanist?
Oh.
Like in your moral system, it's like the worst possible fucking. It's like the worst possible case, right? It's like the hardest case you to do it.
That's for me, right?
I mean, like if you're not gonna be immoral, like you actually have to be moral, right? If you're gonna make it hard to be innocent, it's better. But you can't just pretend to be moral. You have to actually be moral. You have to treat them like a, I don't know, like a neutrality, I guess. Or like the reason the Christian system is better than the Muslim system is because the Christian system is more open. It's like, or it doesn't try to control your life as much unless the people who are doing it are crazy.
Yeah, that's definitely an understatement.
There's a lot of good people who are Christian, but
we also can allow you to
pretty like chill, you know.
There's no punishment for leaving Christianity. There's no physical punishment from any Christians for leaving Christianity. If you leave Islam, you could get beheaded because they call you a kafir, or it says slay the infidels wherever you see them in Surah 9:29.
There is a punishment. You go to hell.
What?
You go to hell.
Yeah, that's your choice. I'm talking about humans don't physically assault you or commit violence against you. And you get Muslim. What?
Salem witch trials.
Yeah. Okay. We can talk about the Salem witch trial because, in fact, Inspiring Philosophy did this. The Salem witch trial. It was the Christians who were actually trying to stop the scientific experiment, or the scientists from experimenting on people and doing this. Christianity did not start that. So I'm well versed and knowledgeable
witches are real?
What? Do I believe
witches are real?
Yes, I believe people who practice witchcraft are witches. So I have to say that yes, witches are real for what I defined it as.
What do you do with the witches you're born with? How do you treat them? Like, at what point is it too much?
We're talking about historical things that have happened. Why are you asking for a hypothetical when you have a real historical example?
No, I'm asking you, how would you deal with it? With your understanding of morality, your when it comes to morality.
I don't associate with witches. I will let God punish them for the evil that they commit. I'm not going near them personally because I don't want to associate and be around that type of stuff. Because I know that there's a heavy punishment from God, not from me.
Heavy punishment. You think God punishes you? Punishes you with hell for being a witch?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, do you know that you worship an evil God?
What?
You know that? You should worship Jesus instead.
Well, Jesus is God.
No, well, I mean, sort of. He is Christ.
Well, not sort of. He is. I mean, this is a different debate that I usually have with other heretical, quote unquote, Christians.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. But
in a way, he is. But like, fucking, I don't know, like Christ is better than the Old Covenant because Christ did like the
no, there's a new covenant.
created.
The new covenant is better than the old covenant because it's the fullness of the old covenant itself. So it supersedes the old covenant because it includes Gentiles as well in the new covenant. In Christ's body, there's no partiality, and God is no respecter of persons and individuals, races, and things like that.
Yeah, but like, if you go to a church and they preach hell, right? You realize that they're making this is a lie. Like, they're lying to you because
What?
like
What?
like
Okay.
Jesus. No, you can read. You can read the stuff that the early
No,
Christians wrote.
well, I know. I read them all the time. I read them all the time on their commentaries on scripture. I read that all the time.
I'm not talking about anything from the church. I'm talking about before the churches. You can read stuff that actual Christians wrote, who were around the
No,
time
the
when Jesus
actual
was actually
Christians.
living.
The Catholic Church started in 33 A.D. and Ignatius of Antioch wrote in his letter to the Sumerians, wherever Jesus Christ is, there is a Catholic Church. So there was the early fathers were in the Catholic Church. So like that's a different debate, but like still they
I don't
believe
think
in
the
hell.
church. I don't think the church was unified until a couple hundred years.
What? No, why would it be
Church
a
is
hundred years? The Catholic Church is still unified. It's been unified since 33 A.D.
no. There was an organization in existence before Jesus, or around the time Jesus was alive. Right?
What are you guys even arguing
It was
about? We're
called the
talking about
Catholic Church.
morality.
It didn't have anything connected to Jesus. Well, I mean, since you're basing all your
I'm
morality
confused
on
on what
Jesus,
you're talking about.
we should probably talk about it, right? Well, like, there was an organization that existed at that time, but it had no relation or no connection whatsoever to the early Christians. Like, it was a totally different group that existed in a totally different part of the Roman Empire. And then, hundreds of years later, the Catholic Church and Christianity essentially merged, where they created like a religion out of it. It became like a state religion because some of the emperors who were converted, and they converted people by force, by the way. Which the Romans, to be fair, tried to convert them to paganism by force by killing them and crucifying them, right? And it was horrifying. And then after that, the Christians tried to force the pagans into conversion into Christianity, and this is the true history of the church.
Yeah,
And
that is true. The Christians did
Jesus
go to
Christ.
pagan nations.
If you read anything from the early Christians that actually existed from the time the Christians that Jesus Christ lived, or around the time we think he lived, none of it mentions hell or anything even remotely
Wait, so
similar to hell.
you're telling me Ignatius of Antioch
Worshiping
and
the
Polycarp
worshiping the
they don't
Lord. There's the
claiming
Lord. You understand? The Lord of your religion.
Claiming that Rome doesn't mention hell.
Hey guys, you're kind of like getting carried away with this. This is a debate about morality being
Yeah, we've gone like way all the way off topic, but still, Smoke asked me one last question, and then I guess we're like, I don't know, but seriously, I mean, I can like stay in a channel, but like I guess I don't know. I don't know if we're still debating or not anymore. So I guess you know like open out.
But Ray, Smoke actually asked you like one really good question like about objective morality because he did say that I mean if there are things like there are things that are objective, but you kind of like contradicted that by saying that God is not objective. So like if it's
No, I didn't say God wasn't objective. I said that God. My argument, my main point once started with obligation. So I said that anything that is good is God willed because God wills the person to commit or to act
are
on
you
it.
obligated like if you have the possibility to save a drowning child, are you
Yes, I am
obligated to
obligated.
save him?
Yes, I am obligated.
Okay, is God also obligated to do that?
No, he wills me to do it. When you say God obligated to do that, what would you mean? Are you implying that he would have to
Well,
take
I
on
mean, we're
agency to
talking.
stop it from happening? Like you can't just can't interweave into the world
Yeah, but
whenever he
that's
wants
not
to. Like,
that's not the question I'm asking. I'm trying to prove an argument about because I mean, like this rule of objective morality must apply to him as well, right?
well, no, he's a standard at which he's a standard at which I judge morality itself. So when he tells me that I should do things for my neighbors and to love
But
them,
God must not abide by these rules, right?
well, God abiding by rules,
Like
no,
it doesn't apply. Okay, well, it doesn't
create the
apply to
rules.
him. Okay,
Yes,
well,
he creates the
okay, he
rules.
created the rules, but he isn't required to play by them.
Not necessarily all the time is he required to be by the rules he created for us because
Do
he's
you see the
omniscient.
issue with that argument?
No, I don't because he's omniscient. He knows when the rules that he's given for us, or he knows he can bring about a greater good to allow things to happen, and that doesn't mean he causes them to happen, but he can allow things to happen for bring about a greater good. But
Yeah,
for
but
us,
you know, you might not see it, but
we are
everyone
not
else.
omniscient, so we're not omniscient. So I don't have the knowledge to tell you whether or not my
No, but that's not really my question.
my obligation I can bring a greater good.
But you recognize the issue that we in this chat have with this idea because
I don't
because
I don't see the issue.
okay, does the square root of 9 equal 3? And I'm really just reusing Smoke's
Okay,
argument right now. I really want.
seriously, math is different from morality because morality is what you ought to do, and math is what is.
Yeah,
So
but math is objective, right?
that's kind of what I asked Smoke before. Under a secular worldview, you can't derive an ought from an is. You can't just from
Okay,
what we have.
but
You
math
can't
is
tell me
objective.
I'm
Math,
obligated to do something.
okay, math and the natural laws of the universe are
Yes,
objective, right?
yes, we
And
believe that.
morality, okay, and is it just as objective as morality?
Yes,
So if 2 plus 2 is equal 4 to me
yes,
and to you, it must equal 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 to God as well.
yes, yes. God is not logically contradictory. So yes, math. God is by math as well because that's his language.
Okay, so if I'm obligated to save a child who is in trouble and I have the capacity to do so, I must do it as well because
Yes,
objectively that would be moral, right?
yes.
But God somehow doesn't need to.
He does. He gives you the capacity to do it yourself. He allows.
Does he do it? I'm not asking if he gives you the
No,
capacity. Does he do it?
what? No, he doesn't interact like all the time in the world to save literally every single person from dying. That would just it wouldn't make sense for him to do that.
Well, it would make sense if morals were objective and he was abiding
No,
by
it
the own
wouldn't
objective rules.
because he brings about a greater good, like heaven, for example. If
If
they
it's a
die
greater good, then why is it bad if I do it?
but because you're a human and you are not God. You don't have the omniscience or the knowledge to know whether or not your action can bring about a greater good.
No, no, you're saying that it will just bring about a greater good when he doesn't save them, right?
But
Every person that's drowned that didn't get saved somehow brought about a greater good. Is that correct?
required to save drowning people too, but he just doesn't do it.
He's not obligated. It's about the key word is obligation.
Well, then it's not an obligation to do it.
Why not? You have the obligation. Doesn't mean he has the obligation.
Okay,
you
so
the obligation.
We're back to the question. Can you name something else that doesn't apply to everybody?
Compare morals to math or logic or physics. That doesn't make sense.
To compare objective things to objective things does make sense.
This kind of gets back to does math tell you what you want to do? Does math give you right or wrong?
Right. Can you name another something else that applies to everyone else but not to God?
Divinity. Divinity being God. The creation or uncreated being created.
The only real difference between God and you is that God is like very powerful and very old and very wise.
Well, yeah, the humans aren't.
So you can't
they aren't
necessarily
omnipresent. They're not omnipotent. Those are plenty of attributes of God that humans don't.
There is probably not omnipotent God because that's absolutely right. But like the reality is, if something like that is said, then it's probably just you can't necessarily hold it from your understanding. Like,
what's your question?
The way I understand God is, I'm kind of more like a Jew and a Christian, sort of like. So I kind of you see it like if you follow the Ten Commandments, you don't, if you like, you don't like try to interfere with people's relationship. You don't try to like sneak at people. You don't gossip about people, like that kind of thing. That's how I live my life. Like, I think that's the right way to do it because I think God has just given people a simple set of morals, like a simple education, really, which is like what the Bible is really was for centuries. People's only education they ever got in life. Like it doesn't mean you have to live by it exactly, like, or I mean, it doesn't mean it's the objective law.
You don't have to, but you will be punished.
God is so smart. God is so smart that He does not expect you to like live a rigid lifestyle when you're miserable.
Well, you're putting yourself in God's shoes.
Yeah, I am speaking for God because I know God. I pray to God all the time. Like I'm sort of like a priest, but like I'm telling you, like I actually do work with God. I can like get God to do things.
I don't understand how you
God.
how can you believe God and not support objective morality? I don't understand that part.
Well, it's not objective morality because there is no objective morality. Morality is just like it's like an aggregate. I mean, and it's also an extremely subjective thing because morality is all about the way people feel. It's all about how people experience reality.
Subjective morality is how people feel because there's a
It's not really objective if it doesn't apply to God. That's the issue.
Why not? God is not
because the word objective means it applies to everybody.
Every person.
Everybody. Math applies to monkeys, dolphins, everything.
I told you attributes you don't have that God has, like omniscience, omnipotence, and
Like it's not a question of whether God is right or wrong. Like God has killed every living thing on the planet. Like it's about the difference between humans. It's the difference between humans and like whatever the fuck it is that owns the planet. Like maybe it's aliens or something, and they make religion to like try to like give us something.
Sounds like a
People
conspiracy
who are
theory.
trying to figure out, how the universe works. They need something to understand. They need something to latch on to. Maybe the aliens just leave that there for them as a gift. But like, really, it's just a story about the different. I don't know, man. Like the way the Jews understood religion than the way like the Christians understood religion, like it evolved over time. Because it was stories about Jewish people, like they were humans.
Well, the Christian story makes sense.
They just had absolute power because they lived in an extremely religious society.
Okay, you're again diverging from the topic.
I mean, I thought we were done debating. We're like in an open discussion now.
Where the king was literally the king was the head of the religion. Like people literally worshiped the king. Like, and they actually had like a pretty amazing state for their time, like with the technology. Like, they built roads and everything the Romans did. Like, they just don't get. They're not as popular in the Western world, because of everybody in the Western world like the Romans. But like in the Eastern world, like or Persia and stuff is really cool because they did everything Rome. Like their own version of Rome. Sort of like they had like a true theocracy, but we kind of like evolved outside of that type of society. We're not really fit for it because people are so like godlike themselves, and they're so like diverse in their thinking and stuff. It's like our ethics have to be really complex and like have to be really good. That's why we have laws. I don't know. There's too many laws right now, but I kind of just like
a question. Does anyone here debate on debateart.com?
What?
Okay, never mind. Just wanted to
debate what?
debate art,
Or
which is not voice debates but written debates where it's very formal.
Oh, like I write debates, I guess, kind of, but not on this platform. Well, you said debate what?
Debateart.com. Let me read it in here.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, I mean it's like debate.org, but debate.org with the death. So, but never mind.
Well, I found the link. It looks pretty interesting.
Christ has been many people, you know, throughout history. Like any true Christian has like the spirit of Christ in them, you know, like in their basically in them. They're like a true angel. Like reality itself fits around them. Or like anybody, it's not necessarily Christian. Anybody has like a lot of good like spirit, like a lot of good, like a good in their heart, and not like good in a campy kind of like ironic way, but like true good where they work to like make the world move in a positive direction for everyone, not just themselves or who they like or who they don't like. They don't play favorites or anything. It's like a general type of sacrifice to God. That's why like the way the Jews did the religion is they're sacrificing to God. You know, it's not just like they're doing that because they're stupid. They're doing that because it's a very intentional way. Or like it's not what they were really doing at the time. Stories you get told in religion is like a made up version. It's like a child like version where they're sacrificing the animal because there is like that element of cruelty to it sometimes, but like I don't know. It's just like religion now. The world's kind of better without that type of religion. It's like the pagan thing is kind of better, but you still had to have like it's still kind of better to have like one God and stuff. I don't know. I don't fucking know. For me, like all religions are a little bit like I don't really like religions.
A little back, or you said like a little like what?
They try to brainwash. They try to like control people. They try to steal their
How? But what control does it have? Like Christianity, for example. How? There's literally, I don't see the benefit to being a Christian. Like you get your faith ridiculed, or you have to give up things that not everyone wants to give up, or you have to give away these vices that not everyone wants to give up. Like there's the benefits of being Christian are like very near, and like I don't understand. I don't get it.
none of that stuff was anything Jesus ever spoke about. Like all that
Yeah,
shit.
he said, and if you want to
In the
follow me,
Romans made up. You know the Romans when you crucified Christ and crucified
take up your cross and follow me. You
only
deny
God
yourself.
knows how many Christians. You know, like them are the people who made the religion. Like you have to understand that there's no Lord to Jesus. Like Jesus is not like Jesus was Christ.
What?
He was literally like the Christ. You know, like he
I
was
know,
God.
but he was God. He is, was, and always is going to be God.
I don't know. He won't always be God. He'll always be God.
Yes, he is. Why can't wait? So you're arguing? You don't believe in the Trinity? I'm sure. Well, you obviously not. But wait, are you a Christian? I'm confused.
We're moving into a new world where like it's going to like a pagan and feminine religion.
I'm still confused on what you mean. Like, what do you mean by
It's already happened. It's like everything is already happened. Everybody's already died.
paganism? Isn't what? Paganism isn't rising.
It is. It's going to take over eventually.
In pure research is religious, I guess, predictions, approximations that for 2050 it might be, yeah, I think it's 2050, Christianity will still be the most predominant. In fact, it will double in Asia. What?
Most
What?
Christians are pagans, honestly. Yeah.
Can you prove that claim? What do you mean? I'm still.
No,
How are
I
they
can't
pagan?
prove it to you.
So what? That doesn't make any sense. You're making a claim that you can't substantiate. Like, what do you mean by they're pagans? They're
Most of the people who worship the Christian concept
why?
of God,
You
not necessarily
don't.
people who are in churches or anything like that. There's
You
a
mean
lot
the
of people who are.
Trinity? Are you saying the Trinity is pagan?
No, like even people who are like Gothic, right, or like that kind of European, or like the more Greek type of European, it's still like inside of that larger system. And
The
like,
Greek Orthodox are not pagan. Greek what? The
I'm
Greek
not saying that.
Greece is heavily
I did not
Christian.
say. I did not say that. I'm just saying that like the whole culture that from the Christian world, like there's
What?
multiple parts.
That's
Like
the
we
religious
like to think we're better than
the
everybody else.
religious affiliation of people in Greece are heavily Greek Orthodox, and they are not pagans in any way.
I don't mean Greek in that sense. I mean Greek in the Aryan sense, like
I'm confused.
philosophical and like intellectual and like high
How can
class,
you be
like well bred.
philosophically Greek? I don't. What? You mean the language? I'm confused. We're talking
You
about the
can't understand
language,
it.
the
You can't
language, the
understand it
place, the philosophers.
unless you come from that.
But still, Greece is heavily Christian. I don't. What?
No, not you're not. You're taking what I'm saying literally. I'm not saying Greek as a place. I'm saying the Greek culture that created like honestly had a pretty big influence on creating Jesus and like
The
the
Greek
whole
created the
medieval world.
hypothesis, the hypothesis
Exactly.
distinction of the Trinity. Like, so they came up with the word to make the distinction between the persons in the Trinity, the hypotheses, the persons in the Godhead. They came up with the word to define the Trinity itself.
You don't need to define the Trinity. You don't need to define God. The only thing
Why
you need to
not?
know about God is you can pray to God in His own
How can you know
spiritual
that without
language.
revelation? Well,
That's the
how can you
only
know
thing you have
without
to know.
divine revelation? That doesn't make. I'm confused because you say things that make me think you're a Christian sometimes, and I'm confused on what you're saying now. Like, are you a pagan?
Um, yeah, I'm a pagan.
Are you a pagan?
Yeah, I'm a pagan. I'm a
Wait,
pagan
so you're not.
Muslim.
So you're not a Christian. So why are you talking about the Christian concept that you said that when you just said
I
you're
am a
not a
Muslim.
you said you were a pagan like a second ago, right?
No, I'm a Jew.
Okay, I'm confused. What denomination of Christianity are you?
I'm not a denomination. I'm just a Christian.
Do you do you affirm the Nicene Creed? That we believe in the one God, the maker of the heavens and the earth, and we
No,
believe in Jesus Christ, the only begotten Son, the Father, and we believe in the
no,
Holy Spirit who proceeds from the Father and from the Son.
no. I don't believe in.
So then you wouldn't be a Christian if you
The only thing I believe, the only thing I believe that is, I believe that Jesus was God
that doesn't make
for
sense.
His age,
I'm so confused. Wait, so you believe Jesus is God,
and
but you can't accept
I
the
believe
Trinity?
that I believe that the universe goes in cycles, and then like
No,
every
okay,
couple of
Jesus
thousands
did
years,
not agree
a
with
new
that.
religion comes along.
I'm confused. So you read the Bible, right? So like like do you?
No, I don't read it wrong.
So
I
how
used
can you
to
be
when I was
Christian?
younger
How can you be Christian?
because I only follow Jesus. I don't follow anyone else.
That doesn't make any sense. You can't follow him without knowing his own words that were recorded in the Bible.
I do know his words. I read everything he's ever
What?
written or anything
You
anybody's
okay?
ever known
That
about
doesn't
him.
make any sense. Can man live on bread, or can man live on bread alone, or
Which,
does
by
he
the
need
way,
to
in the
live?
Bible, the only
Can
thing
man?
Jesus
No, can you
wrote
answer
in
that
the Bible,
question? Because
there's
God
four
says
books
you
in the
need.
Bible.
God said you need His word to also live, and said you can't live by bread alone. Those were Jesus's words. The man cannot live on bread alone.
I
So
don't,
if you,
I don't, I don't believe in the Bible because I know that
so
it was
that doesn't
written.
make any sense. You can't. So you're
Yeah,
not. You
okay, yeah, this is really weird.
Like I already know it's fake, so like I'm not believing it again. It's all
what?
suspect.
Can you prove? Wait, I'm confused. Wait, you said it was fake?
Mm-hmm.
Can you prove that claim? What's fake about it? Because Jesus existed. I mean, it's a different
It was
debate. But
made in Bible.
historically,
It was
in
made by
Tacitus and
humanity.
Nails and Pontius Pilate, and Alamenos, Graffito, Jesus definitely existed as a historical person. That is, in fact, the scholarly consensus among secular and non-secular historians.
Yes, and they erased him. They erased his identity, and then they
How does he
replaced it
erase
with
his
like
identity? Literally,
his name probably wasn't even Jewish. Well, it might have
yes.
been.
Well,
It might probably
obviously,
Jewish
it's a
name. Nobody
it's
knew.
a transliteration. It's Yeshua. It's a transliteration. It's not. Jesus is an English.
It's not Yeshua. It's not Yeshua. It's more. It's like
Hebrew word for Joshua is the transliteration. It's where it comes from. Yes, it is.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is
he was worshipped as God.
Jesus was Christ, and then
yes.
Romans killed him somehow. I don't know. And then
how did the Romans did what? Oh wait, I'm confused. Wait,
the Romans and the Jews killed him.
You said they changed his identity.
They were probably working on behalf of whoever runs the world.
What? But nobody changed his identity.
No. Yeah. Whoever runs the world, basically at the time, didn't like.
That sounds like a conspiracy theory.
It is a conspiracy theory.
What? Oh. Bro.
I mean, everybody killed him. That's just how it was, because he was too crazy. That's how it is when Christ rules the world.
I think you're like trolling. There's no way.
Dude, I mean, no. Just imagine, right? Like, you live in the reality you live in now, and then one moment, and then the next moment, right? Like, you're in a totally different reality where like you're seeing like a real.
Bro, I definitely cannot. You have to be trolling. What?
I don't know. I mean, like, it seems like to me the way history happened is like something happened. They covered it up. They spent 300 years covering it up, and then
how did they covered what? They covered what up? The Jesus movement spread.
Or maybe Jesus won. I don't know.
Jesus what? What?
I don't believe in it.
I don't understand what you're, because you just said you believe he was God. You said you were a pagan. You said you're not a pagan, but you said you just followed Jesus, but you said you don't read
I can't tell you everything I know about that.
I'm confused. You said you admitted you were making a conspiracy up, and now I'm so confused on how to even debate this.
I don't know. It's not a debate. I was just telling you. But yeah, you can pray to God, dude. That's like really the whole point of religion. Like, it's like some type of like intelligence.
To what religion? Because
you don't necessarily look. It isn't intelligent enough, right? To understand that you're not that you do not have to believe it or believe anything on faith. Like,
that doesn't make sense. That violates the law of non-contradiction, because all there's religions. All the religions inherently disagree with each other, so that violates the law of non-contradiction. So there can only be one true religion, because they all say different things.
Yeah, that's false. The law of non-contradiction. The law of non-contradiction.
No, it's just magic.
Hold on, hold on. Let me.
That literally follows the law of non-contradiction.
Okay, it only applies to contradictories.
Yeah, the religions contradict each other, so yes, if that.
No. Okay, so contradictories, pay attention, is a technical term that means.
I know what contradiction means.
Okay, no, contradictories. Do you know what contradictories are?
Two things that oppose, or more than two or more things that oppose each other.
Okay, in bivalence, do you know what bivalence means?
I've heard of it, but I'm not expert on bivalence, if that's what you're asking.
That's fine. Look, I'm not saying that you don't have reasons to reject any religion based on religions disagreeing them. What I'm saying is that none of those religions, like out of 20 different religions that present a different case, are the same thing as you would find being violated by the law of non-contradiction. The law of non-contradiction states that A cannot be both A and not A at the same time and in the same way. And the law of the excluded middle, which presumably you take to evaluate such a thing along with it, says that for any positive claim or any descriptive claim about reality, where it and its formal negation exist in bivalence, meaning there's only two options, either meaning it's a true dichotomy, okay, then only one of the two can be true. Right?
Okay. Okay.
So hold on. So look. So within logics, you have different kinds of logics, where the law of excluded middle is not accepted, LEM, right? And also the law of non-contradiction. And those logics are like tri-value or multi-value.
Like high order logic? Are you using a high order logic? Is that what you're?
It doesn't have to be a higher order logic. It can just be a
second order logic.
It can be a tri-value logic or a multi-value logic of any kind, right? So the point is that the only way that it's a true contradiction is if the terms are represented, if the proposition proposition can be broken into a true dichotomy between the positive claim and the negative claim, which are formally.
There's a true dichotomy between, for example, I can't remember if it's Hinduism or Buddhism and Christianity, because non-polytheistic or non-monotheistic religion inherently deny the claims made by the monotheistic religions.
Yeah, so it could be entailed that say like so if Christianity is true and you accept that a foundational fact of Christianity is that Jesus not only is God but he's the only way to God, right? Then that would entail other religions being false. But if you just said
right.
But the point is there's so many religions out there that not all of them make those claims. So not all of them are going to entail some kind of strict dichotomy the same way like God exists or God doesn't exist.
Well, the Jews the Jews believe that they violate the Hinduistic or polyistic religions as well. There's other, so that's more than two things in it. I think I can't remember.
I think there are some like sects of Judaism that accept a type of what's called henotheism, right, where they think there's one supreme God and other little g gods. So I mean, I don't know that makes it. The point is that I don't think you should use that term in this case because while I accept that the term has applications, I just don't think it applies in this case.
Well,
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, so you do accept that the truth claims made in Christianity, you can't really reconcile that with the other gods that like polytheistic religions say is true.
There's a few. Well, I said so. I gave you kind of a conditional. I said if you accept that, Jesus is claims to be God, and that he says that there's no other real gods, and that he's the only way. So if you accept those three as foundational, but there are some Christians that say like, oh, I believe in like little g gods, and
I mean, Christian would be a weird word to define Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons, but.
Oh yeah, but I'm not saying I'm counting those. I'm just like, look, I'm just trying to give you like a sketch of the landscape, right? Like if you say to me, the apple is blue, well, it's either blue or it's not blue. That's a true dichotomy, right? Those would be, contradictories, blue or not blue. All right, and so there, both the LEM and law of non-contradiction would apply. But if it's not a true dichotomy, right, then it becomes unclear as to whether or not you can say that it's a contradiction. A contradiction's entailed. For there to be a true contradiction, right, it would be a strict P and not P combination.
So modus tollens is what you're saying?
It could be a modus tollens or a modus ponens, or it could be immediate inference. I mean, you could use any rule of inference, but the idea is that the conclusion of the argument would need to demonstrate P and not P in a strict sense for it to be a true logical contradiction. Of course, now you could pick your form of logic you want to use, right? If you want to pick some kind of Aristotelian classical logic.
Wait, I like logic. What are we talking about?
At this point, we're literally anything now.
Yeah, no, it's fine. You can carry on. Look.
No, but I mean, it's fine. Smoker and I were like stop debating like probably in a few hours, or no, not one. You just like, okay, it's fine. Never mind.
Yeah, no worries. I just wanted you to get my point. It's not like a.
Well, yeah, sure. I was just saying that. Yeah, I guess.
All good. Carry on.
I really want to learn Indian logic. I read they invented a similar form of logic to Aristotelian logic.
Is that what it's called? Is it called Indian logic?
I think it's called Vedic logic.
Vedic logic. Okay. Yeah.
There's a Stanford Encyclopedia Philosophy page on it, which I can link. It's pretty cool. They have I don't think they formalized it like we did in the West, but they have regular argument forms, and so they had to fit into the form of the argument.
So if I Google Vedic logic, it comes up as Indian logic on Wikipedia. So
I've not read upon Indian logic before, but
I haven't read it. I want to learn it because it seems super interesting.
It says it's one of three original traditions of logic. Greek and Chinese logic are the other two. By
Vaisheshika or Vaisesika, Sanskrit, one of 6 Hindu schools of Indian philosophy.
Also, I think Indian logic, I could be wrong, I think it's not too valued like Aristotelian logic is. I think you can have more than yes or no.
That's completely correct. It's definitely not. Aristotle's logic is like way more widespread.
Widespread? Well, I agree it's more widespread, especially in Western education.
I guess.
Yeah. No, I was just saying there are logic systems that aren't too valued the way Aristotelian logic is.
Yeah, it says that the Jaina version of Indian logic is 7 valued. Jaina 7 valued logic.
I wonder what that means in practice. Like, I don't know.
Jain philosophy. 7 predicates. Theory summarized as follows. 7 predicate theory consists of 7 claims about sentences, each preceded by the word arguably or conditionally. And they concern a single object and its properties. And here they are, the 7 claims. Arguably, that is, some object exists. Number 2, arguably, it does not exist. Number 3, arguably, it exists, arguably, it doesn't exist. 4, it is non-assertable. 5, it arguably exists, arguably, it is non-assertable. 6, arguably, it doesn't exist, arguably, it is non-assertable. And 7, arguably, it exists, arguably, it doesn't exist, arguably, it's non-assertable. So they would accept that it exists and doesn't exist at the same time, and that it can be either assertable or non-assertable at the same time.
So it's it's not consistent?
Yeah, it's not consistent. So there's 3 truth values: true, false, and unassertable. So and then they combine those to produce more truth values. So they have 3 original, and then they combine to produce 4 more. So it's a 3 valued logic, it says here, even though they named the thread as a 7 valued logic.
It is and it is not. I always wonder what.
I gotta go to work. I gotta go to work. Thank you guys.
Oh yeah, have fun, buddy. Make money. Pay your bills. Save up. Spend some too.
So, I think all morals are subjective because they deal with human beings and animals and other living things, I guess. Like, and it's about how people feel, right? So it's like the most objective thing there is. Like, and I think the right way to do morals is right. Just treat people well, forgive people, and understand that people go through. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean they need to die or anything. Sometimes it just means they need space or something.
Yeah, but when you say animals, like, are you including like frogs? But are you including reptiles?
Like anything that has consciousness.
Okay, but
even plants have consciousness.
Do you think
shouldn't
frogs?
Just like poison a plant.
Sure. But the reason I'm asking the question is, do you think frogs deliberate? Like, do you think a frog thinks about what it's gonna do, or
it doesn't matter what the frog does because we're better than the frog. We should do what's right for the frog.
No, I know, but hold on. The reason I'm asking, right? You should understand why I'm asking. I'm asking because you included animals and you included frogs, right? And so normally when humans talk about morals, they talk about deliberating, right? Meaning weighing options. And usually people don't think like frogs weigh options. They just think like that frogs react based on instinct. They're just programmed in some sense.
I mean, they have some empathy. Like animals have empathy. They proved it in experiments.
I agree with that. But that empathy, like what we would call, say, compassion, which the Greek word euxplaknos is where we get the idea, means good guttedness, right? And the reason it's called.
I can explain it like this. I can explain it to you like this.
I wasn't done though. Hold on,
okay.
I wasn't done.
Go ahead.
So hold on. Look, I just gave you like the Greek word and told you the etymological origin of the word, and obviously I've got something to say about it, right?
So what word is it?
Euxplaknos. EU, the same as eudaimonia, which is the word good, so good guttedness, right? And are you familiar with the term? Yeah, euxplaknos. Yeah, are you familiar with the word visceral?
Visceral?
Yeah, have you ever heard that word? Are you familiar with it?
Like a very real, very powerful experience.
Yeah, so the word doesn't actually mean real, but we use the word to signify something that has force. And the reason, you would say it sounds like it's being used to say real is because we're saying it has some force. But what the word really means, it means coming from the organs, from the middle of your body, from inside your body. Okay, so visceral response is one that comes from the gut. Okay, so euxlachnos is this term literally means good guttedness, and compassion meaning moved alongside the suffering
like a good gut feeling. Right?
Yeah. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because the studies like you're talking about, I agree, I've read. So if a wolf, a natural predator, sees an harmed animal that would normally be its prey, it won't attack an animal that would normally prey upon if it's already harmed. Now, when they studied this, they found out it's like a nervous system response. It's a visceral gut response of the animal. It's not something the animal deliberates about. It's something that literally comes from like the center of the animal. So it seems
it comes from the mind. Like most people's minds have an ability to mirror the emotions of other people's minds. You have a set of neurons called mirror neurons, where like when you see someone feeling pain, you feel the same pain to a certain degree. Like, and the study I want to tell you about was they did it with mice, where they trapped the mice in a box and did it with other mice to try to get it out of the box, and they did find out that the mouse would try to get the other mouse out of the box, and then they also figured out that like
right?
if the mouse was trapped in a box before, it would try harder to get the mouse out, the next mouse out of the box, because it experienced. So it not only did it have empathy, but it learned a higher form of empathy from experiencing. So like it understands and thinks about empathy. And the mouse is a mammal, it's a pretty sophisticated animal, but like even frogs, and birds, and stuff, they still
yeah, but look, a mouse isn't a frog, right? Yeah, that's
but they eat their predators. They eat animals.
No, I know, but it doesn't follow because they exhibit some of the same behaviors, that they have the same abilities, all the same abilities, right? If it did, then they would be able to think just like humans is what would be entailed by that.
No, a mouse is almost as intelligent as a human. You can't let the brain side of it. Like the difference in intelligence is pretty arbitrary. So like a mouse.
Well, so yeah, but no worries. I could accept that a mouse is closer in intelligence to a human than a frog, but that doesn't entail that a frog deliberates, right? That's the point of my question.
It does a bit. It's different.
No, it doesn't. Do you understand? Okay, what do you think entailment is?
Because like empathy is a naturally occurring. It's a naturally occurring thing that comes out of like what happens when you have life. When life pops into the universe, the same way geometry is like the natural manifestations of physics. Like empathy is a natural manifestation of physics and comes into all life because empathy is fundamentally a good thing for everyone. Like for the most part. I mean, there are exceptions, but like it's mostly.
So you think fundamental? Let me just make sure I understand. You think fundamentally
good? Basically, evolutionary.
Well, you didn't say anything about evolution. You said it's foundational, and that everything that pops into existence that's alive.
So everything that is sustained in evolution is good.
Okay.
Like anger, even anger is a good thing because it has a higher purpose. Like you can't necessarily just assume.
You say everything in evolution is good?
Yes, everything that comes out.
It doesn't make any sense.
Because it's a very efficient process. Like.
Wait, but something can I mean, is rape good? Ducks reproduce primarily through rape, but that doesn't make it good, right?
Which is so crazy, bro.
It's better than killing. It is better than killing. If it only happens once.
But wait, but is killing good too? Or it just depends on the circumstance?
In some cases, killing is necessary. Not.
Okay, what about murder? What about an unjustified killing? Do you think an unjustified killing is something that exists? And do you think
it is also good because people have to have the freedom to retaliate, and retaliation is something you can't live without. Like the ability, like autonomy, right? Like we're not a hive mind, we're autonomous.
No. Sure. I agree with that. Freedom is good, but that doesn't entail that murder is good. That's just a falsification, right?
No, it's not always. It's not always good. It's mostly bad most of the time.
Yeah, so then it's not.
It is.
So then it's not entailed,
it's necessary.
Right? This is so. Look, the point is when someone asks you about entailment relations, typically what they're asking you is they're saying, is it deductively entailed? The same way that
it's like this: if you get rid of murder completely entirely, then you make a worse situation than you have if you have heavily punished and hated murder. like that's why nature doesn't force. That's like I don't know, or maybe nature doesn't fit the definition, and I'm just applying too much of my theological thinking to it. But like maybe nature is just kind of brutal, but we don't necessarily have to be that way. We can be better, and as humans, we are better. We don't have flaws. We don't have like.
No worries,
really
man. No worries. Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion.
Use your mind.
Oh, Jesus, help me, Lord.
That's what we are. And we have language. Like
you're like an over-talking machine. It's not really a conversation. It's like a one-way street. Yeah, no, that's fine. Like if you just want to like spew your opinion, that's fine. It's cool. I'll just like wait till you're done.
Well, I don't know anything else.
Yeah, like presumably like the point of communication, okay, is shared understanding. Like I'm trying to understand what the hell you're saying, and hopefully you're trying to understand at least what I'm asking you, so that I can understand what you're saying. What?
I said I'm trying to listen to you.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. I'm just like giving you a meta point, right? So like if I'm trying to ask you a question for clarification, it's because I'm trying to make sure I'm tracking what you're saying. But anyway, I don't know. Yeah, anyway, thanks. Gotta go.
Questions are good.
No.
I like questions. What if I have you guys ever been asked or thought about what is a question to be able to define it?
There's no definition. That's my answer.
But have you ever thought about it before, or had like?
What was the question?
What is a question?
I don't think it can really be defined with logic because, well, at least like logic deals with like, it's not a proposition, I guess. Like, what is this? It's not a proposition, so it's.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it doesn't have a definition.
Well,
right? So.
I mean, the dictionary does give a definition of it as a statement of words meant to inquire information, something along those lines.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. If I'm asking something, I'm making a request, that I hope is going to be responded to, which would be the answer to the question. Right?
But not all questions are like that, right? Like, you can actually impart information with questions, I think.
Of course. Yeah. Rhetorical questions, of course.
It's like its own thing.
But the main question I was asking is, have you ever thought about it or been asked that question before?
Which one? Which question? What is a question?
What is a question?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Let's just, yeah. Why do you ask?
Well, it seems like it would be something that people would mention, but often I find that, like, I didn't think about it until a couple of years ago. Nobody's ever asked me that question. You just kind of instinctively know, right?
Do you think a lot of things are only defined through ostensive definition? By giving examples.
I think it's a starting place.
Things are defined by how people feel about them.
Yeah, I don't think I think I would say no to that.
Well, okay, here's the thing. If I wanted, this is something I've mentioned before. If I wanted to define an apple, I could write what I think is a perfect definition. But if it's just words, it won't contain like the shape of an apple or whatever the material, whatever. I would actually have to show you an apple. And so in this sense, the real meaning of the word is via examples.
The DNA.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
And I feel like a lot of, if you talk about language, how do you learn what this means? Because I can point to something and say this tree, this tile, this whatever. How do you learn what this means?
Exactly.
It's like an abstract. It's an abstraction. Like, so when you're saying this, you're not referring to like one.
Well, that's my point. You can't really. How do you define this without?
Yeah.
This.
So
it's a class bucket,
Right.
It's like a category,
Yeah. Donald Davidson is an American philosopher. He wrote all about this. It's in his semantic theory of meaning and truth. It's called the Davidsonian argument. But yeah, basically, his view is just that through experience, we engage a tripartite structure of meaning, right? Other language speakers, a shared environment, and ourselves. And through that, like we either activate or acquire new concepts. You could accept either view.
Is this similar to Wittgenstein?
He has some similarities to Wittgenstein in that he accepts that language, happens in social contexts, right? But he implies that this is it's not merely language games. It's epistemology that's taking place, right? This is about beliefs and knowledge more than it is just about the language itself. So, like Wittgenstein's no private language argument, just is the idea. If you boil it down, it's the idea that by definition, language is something that's communicable. If something is by definition communicable, then it can't be not incommunicable, because that would be a contradiction. So then there's no such thing as a private language. Right?
The thing is, I'm not sure. Wittgenstein also, for example, thinks someone trapped on a desert island or whatever. I forgot the example you used because you used language, so I think it's not really clear. But what he thinks, to be honest.
You might be thinking about Quine, because Quine is the one that did the thought experiment on the island with the rabbit.
I don't know. Someone mentioned to me that I had a conversation with like a graduate philosophy, and he seemed to argue that it's not entirely clear what a lot of Wittgenstein's views are, and I think that's true because if you read like philosophical investigations, it's very meandering, and I don't think. Well, anyway, I'm maybe I'm being like pedantic.
Yeah, I would say most people accept he kind of changes views because his early works seem to contradict his latter works. Right. That's kind of the idea. So the Tractatus, his earlier works, he says some things, but that later he says things which seem to contradict those.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, one never came up with like a very solid theory of linguistics. Like
sorry,
one
I couldn't hear you.
I said has like one person never came up with a very good theory of linguistics, like a solid model and everything. It like works and can predict like pretty much everything. Go ahead, I got it.
I don't know about being able to predict everything, but there's a lot of really notable theories of language and semantics. Who's the guy I'm trying to think of? Is the guy from super famous, the Plato's Problem guy. Oh God, why am I not thinking of his name?
Plato's Problem. You mean Socrates?
No. I mean, Socrates did come up with it, but Noam Chomsky, that's what I'm thinking of. Noam Chomsky. Chomsky is like one of the giants of the field, obviously. And there are a lot of people that have differing views from him, but their differing views are cited in contrast to him, kind of like the same way that Kant and Hume oppose each other at the same time. But Chomsky thinks that there's a universal grammar, okay, and he thinks the explanation for this universal grammar is some sort of endowment. And what I mean by endowment is like an inheritance or a gift, right? Like you would endow some money to a college, it would be a gift to them, and it would be used to fund the education of later generations. Well, this kind of endowment he's talking about is like a genetic